quais estratégias têm se mostrado mais eficazes no combate à violência doméstica?
So if we look at gender attitudes, Latin America is approaching to be similar to Europe and the USA. It's not as patriarchal as places in the Middle East, South Asia, Central Asia. But we see really, really high rates of violence. Also, within Latin America, some places may have very similar gender attitudes but very different rates of violence. So Chile actually scores as more patriarchal than Brazil, but their rate of domestic violence is much lower. If we look at Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo and Rio pretty similar, but Rio has much more femicides, right? It's double. The data is double. So why is that? So one of the drivers of intimate partner violence and femicides is certainly machismo. They have authority, men react badly when women are insubordinate, women might be economically dependent, but another factor is a broader culture of violence. So in northern Brazil, for example, where it's a much more violent, machista society, then men learn to solve their problems with their fists, right? So we were just doing an interview with a family from the northeast, and they were saying, you know, the father was constantly beating them. Even the boy was put on an ox when he was younger to toughen him up, to make him macho. And similarly in the favelas, if the state is not present, then boys have to act macho so other people will not attack them. And I hear that from so many young men from the peripheral areas, that if there is no rule of law, you have to act tough so that no one attacks you. So even in a Brazilian school, maybe you need to act tough so that no one attacks you. So what's really important in Brazil and Latin America is to enforce the rule of law, so that there is effective policing to ensure general security so that everyone is safe, because then men wouldn't need to learn to be macho. On top of that, we also need, you know, strong feminist activism to ensure implementation of the laws. But a strong, effective state is super, super important. You know, lots of feminists, they think, oh, the state is terrible. But I like to say, you know, if the road has potholes, we don't say end the roads. We think build better roads. If the schools are bad, we don't say end the schools, we say build better schools. So if we don't like the police service, it's really important here in Brazil to build more accountability, to end the impunity, so that, you know, the military police are much safer and much more respectful of human rights, while ensuring public security for all Brazilians. And then I think we'd see much lower rates of violence. So it's in the safer Latin American countries where you see much, much lower rates of femicide. So for example, Costa Rica, pretty conservative, you know, no different from Brazil, much, much lower rates of domestic violence. I was there a month ago, right? No difference in attitudes, but it's just much safer for women. So if Brazil could be more like Costa Rica in terms of violence, women would be much safer.
Assine Valete Plus da Espectro Cinza ou morra na ignorância e você ganha uma revista.